All right. Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you to all of you on this holiday season coming on in and joining us here on Lions Talk Live. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're trying to make our push before kickoff tomorrow to get to roughly 4,900. So if you could do your part to help out with that, I think we need about 50 more subs, somewhere in that vicinity. I sure would be appreciative. Also, if you're enjoying the videos, enjoying the content, don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up like button. All right, as we all know, tomorrow, big game, no way around it. You go out here, you win, you stay relevant in the NFC playoff race, seeding, and then obviously you're going to wrap up the NFC North division, which is going to give you at least one home game. From there in the playoffs, if we can secure the number 2 seed, then we're going to guarantee ourselves at least 2 home playoff games at Ford Field. And I think all Lions fans can agree that's probably the best setup the Lions could have in order to make a legitimate run in the postseason and try to get to the playoffs. All right, as I suspected, the comment section is moving and shaking, but one last thing before we get to that. In the upcoming year or even this year, if you're looking to buy property in the state of Michigan, give me a call, shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. So if you're not aware, outside of being a coach, a scout, obviously a YouTuber, I've done real estate for over 30 years now. I am what's known as a Zillow Premier Agent, which means I'm one of the top 5% of agents in the state, let alone in the country. So even if you're outside of the state of Michigan, give me a call, shoot me a text, let me see if I can offer you some good advice, or if you don't have a realtor, I can point you someone who I know will work on your behalf and try to save you some money. All right, with all the formalities out of the way now, let's get into the show. Comment section is a moving and shaking as always. I know we got people wanting to talk about the Lions, and as you can see from the thumbnail, I really think the rest of the season we're going to need to see continued growth and development out of the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. It's no secret. We've all had our thoughts on Aaron Glenn. I think he has developed this season. Obviously, we're all going to want to see if he can continue to do the magic of play calling and adjustments that he did against the Denver Broncos, because that was probably the best the defense has looked all season. But we also need to pay attention to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, obviously, he's the golden boy of offensive coordinators right now. He's considered one of the better ones in the NFL. He will be a sought-after commodity by teams looking for a new direction this offseason. But we also want to make sure that some of the stagnation he ran into, we'll say overall the last month and a half, he's worked his way out of. Teams figured out a counterpunch to a lot of his offense this year. They slowed the Lions down for about a month. And then at least against Denver, it appears that he's found some counterpunches to their counterpunch. He's learned to fight back against some of the underneath coverages they've been incorporating because of lack of deep routes, things of that sort. So can Ben Johnson keep the train going? Can Aaron Glenn continue to stymie opposing offenses? We'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out if the trend is our friend. All right, going into the comment section, Nathan, morning, Duke Group, Morthan to you too. Mile marker, good morning, and happy Lions win the division eve. That's a good one, man. Mile marker, good morning to you as well, man. Lions fan, what do we got? Greetings and salutations all. Lions need Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn to continue and be aggressive with their play calling. Let's put it on the Vikings and win this thing. I agree, man. Don't drag it out. Get it done. Don't give the Vikings any kind of reason to believe they have a chance to continue the final 2 weeks of the regular season and have a chance at the NFC North. The Vikings, I should say, do not have an easy path. They got to face us twice, and then the Green Bay Packers once. That's a tough ask to get those 3 wins, but we can make sure it's an impossible task, to your point, Lions fan, by going ahead and taking care of business tomorrow. JDC, good morning all. Go Lions. Good morning to you too. Hope you're having a good one, JDC. Drake, what do you got? Coach Dan, any more updates on Hooker and Houston? I can tell you that Hooker's been impressing in practices. You probably won't hear it spoken about too much right now just because nobody wants to rattle, Goff potentially or upset the apple cart, or, however you want to word it. But from what I've heard from at least people that I would say are quality people to review players, he's been doing well. He shows a lot of good stuff, and you can see why they had him for the 21-day window, and from based on that 21-day evaluation period, why they gave up one of the roster spots to put him on the active roster the rest of the season. This kid's got some promise. This kid, if I think we can all agree with this, if he would not have been injured, he potentially would have been a first-round pick. I'm not going to say he was top 5 or top 10 or anything like that, just because I'll be fair, I didn't do a deep enough dive on him to really have an opinion on that part. Anything I can say is really in earnest post-draft. I did some evaluations on him, and I didn't spend a ton of time on him because I knew he wasn't going to be playing this year. But I will say this, the people that I trust, and from what I have looked at him, he's got rare arm talent. So he can hit passes most NFL quarterbacks physically cannot hit. Now, as far as his ability to read and react, I mean, as far as what QBs do in college, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it just because the defensive schemes and principles used in the NFL are vastly different than what they run into in college. So a kid may look good pre-snap in college and then run into massive issues in the NFL, and that's why so many of them don't pan out. The NFL defensive schemes usually incorporated do so many last-second adjustments that that's why most guys, even though they'll make some adjustments to the line of scrimmage before the snap, defenses at the NFL level are talented enough where they can now counter that prior to you snapping. I use Brock Purdy probably as the best example of recent quarterbacks. While he doesn't have elite skill sets from a physical standpoint, his pre-snap reads and post-snap adjustments are what make him such an effective NFL quarterback, at least in my opinion. And I think there's some potential Hendon Hooker could be in that category with more of the physical stuff. In regards to Houston, and I'm going on way too long with this, sorry guys. Nothing new this week. So we're all in wait and see mode with him. All right, Susan, what do you got? Greetings and salutations all. Lions will push for the number 2 seed by winning tomorrow. I think you're onto something there. I think you're right. I think they got a real good chance. Southwest, good morning all. Great interview with St. Brown talking about consistency and staying in the moment. Yeah, he's a real focused kid, and you give him all the credit because, the bulk of his strength comes from his personality. I mean, he's got some God-given abilities without question, but he's also someone that isn't super elite in a lot of those God-given abilities. So his personality and his desires push, he's got good physical traits, but his personality and his desire pushes them into rare categories. So he's absolutely what the Lions want in a player. All right, Brittany, what do you got? Good morning, Duke crew. Same to you. Happy holidays, y'all. Same to you as well. Hopefully you and yours are having a good time and enjoy it. JDC Magic 8 Ball says Lions 20, Vikings 10. I'll take that. Man, that'd be 2 straight impressive performances, to your point, JDC, by the defense if that holds up. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations, everybody. Happy holidays, and get fans everywhere an early gift with a Lions win tomorrow. Yeah, let's see what the team can do, but I'm going to say this. I think they're going to be as motivated as can be to go out there and reestablish themselves with a second straight strong performance. On top of that, I mean, the Lions are not oblivious to the fact that, hey, you win this game, you basically push Minnesota to the sidelines and give yourself a home field advantage for at least the first game of the playoffs with a division title. Mike, what do you got? Good morning, coach and everyone. Good morning to you too. Hopefully you're having a great one. Sosimo, O-line is healthy, and that will be a massive impact on the game. Lions 27-24. All right, we got a closer one here. Sosimo, I would agree with you that obviously the Lions and Jared Goff, let's center this framework with this point around him. He's a completely different NFL quarterback when he's not getting hit, relatively frequently. And a lot of that's a credit to the offensive line. So I think all quarterbacks can get rattled. Goff, I would say, is maybe a little bit more than the normal, but if you give him a comfortable feeling, if you make him not have to focus on the rush, where he can just maintain his focus and awareness downfield on the defense, and then obviously his offensive play calls, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. There's just no way around getting or way to get around that. You look what he did with the Rams. You look what he's done in his limited time with the Lions. There are very few quarterbacks that have had his type of statistical success, and let alone in two different franchises. So, yeah, O-line stays healthy, Goff stays upright, the running game is impacted. All those good things will help us out exponentially. Thomas, could be a glorious weekend. I agree with you. Yeah, you got the holidays here, and then the Lions potentially getting the big win. That would be nice. Southwest on defense, Minnesota wants quarterback to get rid of the ball fast. Agreed. Before skilled players can get separation, Lions need to get the ball to Gibbs and J-Mo in space, especially off of blitzes. I would agree. And if they haven't been working on that, especially since you played this team, twice in 3 weeks, you're really missing the opportunity there, because like we've talked about, a lot of deep ends, crossing routes, things of that sort, that you can get rid of the ball quickly and cause some problems for persons in man-to-man while facing the blitz. Yeah, they would have dropped the ball, in my opinion, on that. All right, Jason, greetings and salutations from the heart of Minnesota enemy territory. Mullins is on thin ice, and we will expose his weaknesses. Lions 33-13. Jason calling for a beatdown. I like it. So, Jason, what are you hearing, if you can, in the comment sections about Mullins? And man, I hope they're not being too brutal on him, because, man, you go back to Dobbs after you already put him on the bench. I mean, at some point, these guys are who they are, and you got to imagine they know who their best options are, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're just juggling, and that's not good for any quarterback's confidence. Trey, what do you got? Thomas Taylor, you aren't wrong about that. All right, going on. Agree with you. Southwest, don't let Mullins be comfortable back there. Not with the skill players Minnesota has. I would agree. They've got some very good ones. Stick to the game plan you had with the Broncos. I agree. Blitz them, keep them off course, off script, and keep them guessing. Thomas, out O-line being healthy, huge. Yeah, Lions O-line being healthy is a huge plus for us. And I got to imagine that's going to make a deep impact on this game. Phil, greetings and salutations, Daniel. Greetings and salutations to you, Philo. And hopefully you're having a great one, man. And what do you got in the picture today? A satellite. All right. Something new there. Don't tell me you make satellites too, Phil. Come on now. If you do, that's a heck of a skill set you have there. JDC, my Vikings family might make me eat at a difficult table. Go Lions. All right. I didn't know that your family was all Vikings fans there, but I know some of my friends are, and we're already talking about, I'm going to have to have a little bit of a text conversation into the game tomorrow. All right, Southwest Lion, Ben Johnson coached with Miami from 2012 to 18 when they made Flores the head coach. He did not bring Ben Johnson back. He did not, but I'm guessing he did not know what he had in him. And, hey, it happens. Nobody gets everything right. So Flores is very good at his craft as being a defensive coordinator and defensive-minded coach. He probably now sees a missed opportunity there with Ben Johnson. All right, mile marker, Jason, what do you got? I think Lions high score. I think the Lions high score. Vikes low is a realistic outcome. St. Brown, Gibbs, Laporta, J-Mo, Reynolds all score. Woo, baby. All right, I'll take it, mile marker. I'll take it. Phil, don't care and have zero advice. Get the W. All right. Get the W. I like it. Just win, baby. I like it, Phil. All right, Thomas, what do you got? Mullins might be the weakest quarterback we have faced, but he has weapons. And I think that's what it comes down to. He's got some really good skilled player options. And you know what? If he can get the ball to him, they're going to cause us some problems. So we'll see how we adjust. All right, Phil, let J-Mo return punts. He won't get hurt. Our special teams can score. I wonder if they've considered that. I'm not aware of it, but it doesn't mean they haven't. I know he did some of that in college. Southwest, Mullins played well against Cincinnati, but went under pressure like with most quarterbacks. He's vulnerable. Yeah, pressure affects all quarterbacks. It's just to what degree. And some of them, yeah, I mean, even Tom Brady was affected by pressure. Warren Moon was affected by pressure. Randall Cunningham. It gets to everybody. It's just, does it get to you enough where you just can't go on to the next play? And that's what we have to see. All right, Dennis, we got good morning, fam. Good morning to you too. Phil, tomorrow or today? Not sure what you mean there, Phil. If I missed it, I apologize. Phil, Who has money? All right. Everybody's got some have more. So I guess that's all I can say to that. Jason, mile marker, let's go. I like it. Phil, you color your hair, Dan? Nope, this is just my natural hair. Just in the morning when I don't do it, I guess. Uh, Trump's God bless America. We are being invaded. It's okay. All right. Let's not do any political stuff, please. Ken, good morning, Dan. Greetings, salutations, all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. That is all. Oh, and go Lions. I like the way you're talking, Ken. Let's go Lions, and Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. And greetings and salutations too. Thomas, if Detroit is able to establish the run and not turn it over, they should win. I do believe Minnesota scores, though. Too many weapons. Lions 32, Vikings 28. But you know, Thomas, either way, however it happens, you got us going with the win. I'm going to take it. JDC, damn the torpedoes. Full speed ahead. Go Lions. I like it. Southwest Barnes list is doubtful. Yeah, I think I'll be surprised if he plays. Dan, do you think Lions will make Trevor Nowitzki active if Barnes is out? Whew. It's possible for sure. Will they? Right now, I'm going to say probably not, but it is possible, especially if Barnes is out. So we'll see. We'll see what they've got in store for us. All right, Big M. Good morning, Dan. Lions going to unwrap an early Christmas present for all us Lions fans. Win with a win and division title tomorrow. Merry Christmas, everyone. Same to you, Big M. Let's go. Woo! One pride. All right, Silver Server, good morning, Coach, and to all listeners. Good morning to you too, Silver. Hopefully you're having a good one, and let me know, or let us all know, man, how's the recovery going? You now full go? Where are you at with things? But hopefully you're doing well, my friend. All right, Thomas, I'm a little concerned with Hockenson and who can cover him. You know, that would be one of the big things tomorrow, because you're onto a good point there, Thomas. Who do they appoint to him in the secondary? It could be iffy, and he's been playing well the last few weeks. I'm not sure offhand who they'll have on him, but they have been playing more man-to-man the last 2 weeks. It has impacted things. They've looked good at it. So that will be a point of consideration tomorrow, is who they have locking them up. Eminem, what do you got? My birthday is tomorrow, and it would be the best birthday present if they win. Well, let's see what we can do to get you that win, buddy. And happy birthday. Happy pre-birthday, I guess it would be, since it's tomorrow. All right, Big M, Eminem, happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday to you. Silver, what do you got? Gibbs and JMO are my favorite players since Barry and Perryman. Man, Brett Perryman. Yeah, he was, man, that's a throwback. But those 90 teams are great. But there are some similarities to them for sure. All right, Thomas, go back and watch Hooker versus Alabama. Kid showed he has the, quote, it against top opponents. Yeah, and it just he's got, like I said, all the physical stuff that you could ever ask for, and he's got it in droves. I get the age thing, but at the end, whatever he is, 25 now, so next year he'll be 26. But to me, at the quarterback position versus any other spot in the NFL, it just isn't as big a factor, because you're going to have somebody. The plus side is you're going to have somebody who's a little bit more, developed, mature, I guess is what I should say. The other part is, you got guys that are now playing more and more into 35 to 40. So if you get 10 years, we'll just say, out of a third round pick, especially at the quarterback spot, you're probably going to be okay with that. I just think, we'll have to wait and see what he does post snap reads and adjustments, how quickly he develops from that. If he can do that, then yeah, you've probably got a real good quarterback option there. But to my point with that, that's also where probably 70-80% of the drafted prospects bust, because it is so difficult on people to be able to make and process that information post snap, anything the defense did last second, that it throws people off. And now when you add in somebody blitzing and things of that sort, the amount of information you have to correctly process in a 1 to 3 second window just rattles people. And that's why so many of them, I do think, get a form of PTSD, because you get hit like that over and over. Plus, you got everybody on the sideline calling for your head, and all the fans and media and stuff. It can stress people out. You've seen it with a lot of NFL quarterbacks, especially if you've been a fan of the league for a while. You've got the Ryan Leaf that have had a number of breakdowns, and he's come forward and talked about how much it impacted him. But he's not the only one, but that's just an example. But I do agree with you, Thomas. I think the kid's got it. All right, Phil, what do you got? Would like to see Teddy run this offense. Let's wrap this up and rest the starters for the last Vikings game. It's a real possibility that, we win tomorrow, whatever the outcome is in Dallas. The last game of the regular season may not have a real importance for the team. So if there's nothing that affects seeding, then to your point, Phil, yeah, maybe if it was me, I'd probably have the starters out there a quarter. And after that, Teddy Bridgewater a quarter or two. And then maybe in the fourth quarter, Hendon Hooker gets a drive or two just, to see what the kid's got. Get him some more, experience growth opportunities. JDC, what do you got? Eminem, hope the Lions give you a great present. Yeah, for your birthday. Yeah, exactly. Happy pre-birthday, man. Big M, thanks, man. Go Lions. All right, Eminem, JDC, I'm praying. 100%. Robert, I believe in Jason Berry. All right, we'll go with that. Skull, what do you got? You Lions fans really believe the Vikings are going to lay down and let the Lions win? I don't think anybody thinks they're going to let them win. It's just whether or not they can win. And, hey, you look at the last couple of seasons, these two teams have played each other exponentially well. Even when the Lions' terrible first season with MCDC. I mean, let's not be too quick to forget the Vikings allowed the Lions to get their first win of the season. And they were 10-1, I think, at that point. Don't hold me to that, but, it was pretty dang close. And then last year, you could say the Lions should have swept if MCDC doesn't try to go for whatever it was, like a 57-yard field goal. So I don't think anybody, Skull, thinks they're going to just lay down and win. I think they're just anticipating, as Lions fans should, that they're going to go in there and win. There'll be no laying down. Maybe there'll just be a beat down. Who knows? Silver Surfer. Seems like Campbell not too sure about Houston return. Hopefully Lions re-sign him. Yeah, I think he'll be back. I mean, like I said, he's been cleared by his personal staff for about 2 weeks now, somewhere in that time range. So I think the Lions are just doing their due diligence with him. All right, Eminem, Lions win by 3 in a tight game. That would be pretty consistent with what we've done with the Vikings the last few years. So I could see that definitely being a close game. And to your point, 3 points-ish or so. All right, Mr. Nico, good morning, coach and crew. Who will show out more on Sunday, Hockenson or Laporta? Ooh. What do you think is going through both tight ends' heads this Sunday? Lions 28, Vikings 17. Boy, that's who's going to have the bigger game? The Vikings have really struggled with tight ends, and you can see that a lot of it is because they're having backers, not all the time, but a lot of the time pick them up. And why I think the Minnesota Vikings have some good linebackers, coverage isn't among them. It's sort of like I would equate it to watching Tracy Walker cover. And they're not terrible. They're just not good. So if I'm Minnesota, I'm probably appointing somebody out of the secondary to pick them up. But the problem is now you got to, whoever that person was going to be responsible for, you've got to mask them as well. Yeah, I don't know who will have the bigger game, but I guess just being a Lions fan, I'm going to say Laporta because I think it's going to be pretty close and go from there. Mile marker at Phil, do you wake up a bit? Did you wake up a bit grumpy? And it's Saturday. Oh, maybe that's it, man. Maybe just maybe it's just one of those days. All right, Phil, never take a divisional game lightly. I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%. Trump, I seen video of Houston working out weeks ago. Yeah, I think he's relatively back. It's just, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact he's a pass rusher who relies on his flexibility more so than probably most other pass rushers to get to the quarterback. And you look at where the nature of that break was. I mean, you're asking him to put a lot of torque on it, a lot of pressure, and especially while getting blocked. So I just think they're trying to make sure he doesn't have a realistic chance to re-injure it, and that's why they're giving him the extra time to heal. All right, answer 14. Good to see you, buddy. Greetings and salutations, Dan and Duke crew. Lions lock up some things Sunday. Biggest win in decades, 37-21. Lions roar. Happy holidays indeed. Happy holidays to you too. Answer 14, and hopefully you're having a great one. I like your score prediction, by the way. Thomas, Jet sweep with JMO. could slow the Minnesota blitzing. Yeah, that's not a bad call. I think you're going to see a lot of that. Maybe guard pull opportunities, especially with Glasgow. I think he's pretty good at that. If you want to run some pulls and sweeps with him, not that Jonah Jackson's bad at it. I just think Glasgow's a little bit more mobile. So you could be onto a good point there. Big M, I want to take this time this morning and send prayers to all those that are dealing with illness and suffering in some nature. God bless and take care. And yeah, good point on that, Big M. I know there's more than a few of us from the Lions, the Do Crew community that are having some struggles this week. And hopefully I can get some updates to you guys, or if they hop in the chat and give you guys some updates. So hopefully they're all doing well. And anybody who we don't know about, hopefully they're doing well as well. All right, Phil, no dew yet in my cup. Well, there's the problem right there, man. I have to wait till after the show, but hey, I got basically 4 days off with no work. I'm going to be enjoying some dew today, kicking back. We had some people over to the house last night, and one of them never seen Die Hard. I was like, man, it's the greatest Christmas movie ever. I had to watch them. Might have myself watch it again in the background today while doing some things. So Phil, get some dew. All right, Southwest Line, lack of motivation won't be a problem. I just hope they can play with the same confidence and energy they had against the Broncos. Yep, that'll be a big thing. Continue the trend. Continue to establish going into the playoffs. So I agree with you. Triggerman, what do you got? Good morning, best Lions, live Lions talker on YouTube. Thanks for that, man. Do you think James Houston will be back? Yeah, I do. I think we'll probably get, my guess is you're probably going to get an announcement right around the Cowboys game. It doesn't mean he's on the field for that, but there'll be an announcement on his status right around that time. Phil, who made this schedule? Vikings, 3 division games in 3 weeks. That's the NFL, man, and it stinks for the Vikings, but I mean, that's how it goes. You can also say they had other opportunities or times where they didn't have to play divisional games earlier in the year where, other teams in the division did. So there could be reasons we're not privy to, we're not considering. Maybe, their home field wasn't available on particular dates because of other events. And, the NFL does have to work with the stadiums on that from time to time. All right, in Southwest, if they can get as many pressures on Mullins as they did with Wilson, they ought to be able to get 5 to 6 sacks. I would agree. And Mullins is not nearly as mobile as even Russell Wilson at his current age. So you could be correct on that. There will be some opportunities. It's all going to come down to where the blitzes come from, where the pressures come from, and can they get home? All right, Big M, run the ball some more, and run and then run again. Use our dynamic duo running backs. Yeah, and I got to imagine that's all part of it. Keep them off the field, 12 play drives. That would help exponentially. I like what you're thinking there. Dr. Detroit, with all smiles. All right, clearly, Dr. D has had his morning dew. All right, the Southwest Line, I think the Vikings made the right decision going with Mullins. He's more accurate than Dobbs, comparable to Kirk Cousins. Yeah, they're both similar in certain regards. I just think Dobbs would have been a bigger pain for us because of his mobility. Now, with that being said, that's before we saw Aaron Glenn emerge to Blitzburg, where he was sending corner blitzes, safety blitzes, all that, because that, I think, would have been had Dobbs playing not to his strengths. Dennis, what do you got? We got to make them one-dimensional. Yeah, if you can eliminate half of it, and especially if we can get a lead and keep building on it to while where the running game isn't a threat. Yeah, I like the way you're thinking there. All right, Jason, so excited for tomorrow. I've never seen them win a division title before. I'm only in my early 30s. Well, hopefully you can get that, man, because I can tell you, man, I'm in my early 50s, and I can remember the last one, and I would like it to not be another 30 years until the next one. So hopefully they can do it for you, man. Hopefully you have a great Christmas Eve, too. All right, Phil. Hey, thanks for that, Phil. You know what? I'm going to have a do and a dog just on you, man. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to enjoy it, and hopefully you have a great holiday season, my friend. All right, Triggerman. Goff have struggled against Bryant Flores' defense over the years. Even in that Super Goff have struggled against Brian Flores' defense over the years, even in that Super Bowl. Yeah, and there's the only thing I can hope for, and I think probably all of us, is let's see, the Super Bowl for Goff was going off my head here. So we'll say 4 years ago. How much has he evolved as a quarterback during that time? He listening to old interviews from roughly that time in LA to now, you can see he's a more mature person. And I gotta imagine that means he's more mature as a player and a coach, or excuse me, not a player and a quarterback. He's probably able to read defenses better. Now, with all that being said, this is just speculation on my part about whether or not he's gonna be better or not. He's gonna have to go out there tomorrow and do it. And at least for now, I'm gonna say this. I'm thinking he's gonna be much better. Let's hope so. Phil, have a doing a dog on me. I will do that. Thank you very much for that, man. Thank you very much. All right, Trump, I'm 60 and excited. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm very excited for tomorrow. And I told Jen, yeah, we're not doing anything other than watching the game tomorrow. At least I'm not. How about that? Dr. Detroit, exactly. Gun guy, Goff will prove all the haters wrong. I'm hoping so, man. It'll be a huge opportunity for him. Eminem, Jack Campbell, and Branch. All right, I'll go with that. Good call there. Southwest, the Lions have more team speed on defense with the personnel changes they have made. That will be needed tomorrow. I agree with that. Going forward, I'm a big fan, especially on any defense, any sport. The more speed, length, and size you got, you can just do things most other people can't do when you're in those situations. Game like football, man, where a lot of things come down to just 1 or 2 inches. Yeah, get the faster guys out there that are bigger. All right, Angie, Lions will win 42-17. All right, that will be a heck of a Christmas present for everybody if we do something like that. Good guy, pick 6 for Branch. I like it. Phil, pick 6 for Kirby. All right, well, how about both of them, man? We'll just get them both a pick 6. All I can see right now in my head is Oprah Winfrey going, you get a pick 6 and you get a pick 6. So I take it. All right, Jason, from local sports writer Charles Walters, Lions 27, Vikings 17. Determined the Lions are sniffing their first playoff championship in 30 years. Could be a mauling. I'll take it. I'm anticipating a close game. But, man, if Walters is right or you guys are right with some of these beatdowns, I will take it. No questions asked. Surfer, well, my heart is half the function of a normal one, so recovery, whatever possible, is slow. No problem, though. I was supposed to be 6 feet under. It's all good, fellows. Fellow, thank you for asking. No problem, man. Glad you're doing well, and hopefully the recovery process keeps happening. So, blessings upon you, and I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you have a great holiday season. Dominic, what do you got? Great, good morning from Texas. Lions will win out and finish 13-4. I like the way you're thinking. We won't lose to a backup quarterback anymore. Let's go Lions. No Tim Boyle situations, huh? All right, I'll take it. And I like the way you're thinking about the rest of the season. Trump, what do you got? 31-17 Lions. All right, I'll take that. Frank, what do you got? Fist football out. I hope Lions win out. We don't see Stafford in the first round. Yeah, and I know I think it's a real possibility. I think I said yesterday 50-50 chance, and I think that's about where it's at. There's a real possibility we will host the Rams for the first game of the playoffs. Greg, what do you got? This game will be challenging OG the guard. Yeah. All right. I'm down changing of the guard. I got you. Man, I can't read sometimes in the morning. And I agree with you that we could maybe set some things up here. Now, in the offseason will be the offseason, but you get a win tomorrow, you win the division, you open up the possibility for us to go on a run for a few seasons in the North. All right, Southwest, Dan Campbell talks about embracing the pressure, playing your best when it means the most. They did against the Broncos. Let's hope they continue to do that going forward. Yeah, and not everybody handles pressure well. Not every team rises to the occasion. And to his point, yeah, you want to figure out the mental wherewithal of a player and a team. You do it in situations like this. Some people handle the pressure well, and then they gain confidence more and more every time they do it. So now it becomes actually easier for them to repeat it. That's one thing that, I hate bringing up Brady and the Patriots, but let's be fair. For about a 20-year window, if they got into the Super Bowl or the playoffs, it was hard for most NFL fans to say with a straight face that they thought they were going to lose. It's just because they kept doing it over and over and over. All right, Dr. D. If they don't, it's curtains. Yeah, the heads will roll. Skull, Frank, what do you got? Skull Vikings have great weapons and a tough D. They do indeed. Gun guy, 38-3 Lions. All right, man, we are just gonna hammer them according to you guys tomorrow. Jason, Lions are 5-0 when the O line is healthy. Yeah, and it's just crazy that in the last 3 years they just haven't had many games where the O line is together. Hopefully that trend is no more, and hopefully they just keep these guys healthy and on the field. Answer 14. The Lions are serious dudes and punish teams for 60 minutes. I expect the same Sunday. They will wear out the Vikings and impose their will, especially in the fourth quarter. I like the way you're thinking, man. All right, Dr. Detroit, just don't have much to add. I mean, I called 9 and 10 wins, and they did that. So the rest is gravy. I don't expect a Super Bowl, but let's see how stuff develops. Sometimes you just need to get in. Yeah. I'm trying to think, who was it a few years ago? Oh boy. Was it the Baltimore Ravens when they went there and they went in as a wild card and had the big deep shot down the sideline? Yeah, and just sometimes that's all it is. You get in, you get hot at the right time, you get confidence at the right time. Any team you get in the playoffs, you can win. If the ball bounce, you get 1 or 2 bounces of the ball to go your way. So let's see what happens. Dennis, can't believe you're in your 50s, brother. Yep, 51, getting closer to 52. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I never thought I was gonna make it this far in life. I never thought I was gonna make it to this age, but I did. I'm here. I'm drinking the dew, and I'm hanging out with you guys. Life is good. All right, Dr. Detroit. I do not think that we are that team, but yet you never know. Yeah, it's, 1 or 2 plays go your way. Somebody gets hot. Somebody gets super confident. Gets on a roll. Whatever you want to say. It's all it takes. And you get people, especially when they know it's win or go home. Some people's lack of confidence reveal themselves, or stress or pressure gets to them. So Lions maybe get a fumble and run it in for a touchdown. That can rattle the other team. All right, Ed. Good morning, Coach. The Vikings are in playoff mode. Yeah, they've got to win out, or they won't. I don't think they'll get in if they don't. They are coming after the Lions, 100%. And hopefully you're having a good day. I don't know if you're out fishing, but if you are, hopefully you're having a good one. Big M. Lions 27-17. The running game will set up the play action pass for Goff. He excels if the Lions game is on. If the running game is on, excuse me. The offensive line should control the line of scrimmage. I think you got real good points and emphasis. Boy, I can't talk today. For the Lions, yeah. The offensive line, if it holds up, keeps the blitzing off Goff, opens up some rushing lanes, yeah, you're going to put them in a bad situation, in a more predictable situation for the Lions. All right, Ed, if Vikings get a big lead, this could be a blowout game for Vikings. Yeah, and let's hope that doesn't happen. Miles, what do you got? Vikes fans are saying that their team avoids turnovers. They will win. Comment? I mean, it would be huge for them if they don't turn it over. I mean, you're not helping the Lions out if you control the ball. So to the point, yeah, they're 100% right. Don't turn the ball over the Vikings. Force the Lions to play longer drives, cover more ground, put the emphasis on them to make the mistakes. But I'm going to say this. I think I don't have any reason for this. I think you're going to see Hutchinson have a good end to the regular season. I think they're getting him a little bit more rest. They're being a little bit more creative on defense. I think you're going to see some people do the flushing where normally I say Hutchinson, he gets the pressures and he forces the quarterback to flush out. Somebody else gets the cleanup. I think because of some of the blitzing, you're going to see those guys do the flushing, and it'll be flushing the quarterback into Hutchinson. So that's one thing I'm anticipating for the close of the season. In regards to tomorrow, I think it's priority number one to limit the Vikings to just being able to pass the ball. Keep the run game at bay. If you do that, now you can get a little bit more creative in your blitzing and coverage responsibilities, trying to force Mullins again and again and again on third down to complete big pressure passes. I mean, maybe the kid does it, but I'm just not anticipating at this point in his career he's going to do that effectively throughout the course of a close game. Eminem would have got a touchdown for a big Hutch. All right, that would be awesome. That could happen. It could happen. And man, yeah, I think there's a good possibility something like that could happen. A fumble, 6 or whatever have you. All right, Ed, this game will be decided in the first quarter. Man, all right, I'll go with that. I like that. Ed, okay, let's go Lions. Let's go. Michael, howdy, Dan, Lions faithful. Good morning to you too, my friend. Hopefully you're having a do one. Weed Poto 100. Hello to everyone here. I've been a subscriber for a while. Glad I finally catch you. I feel good about this game, and strangely enough, Goff. And no, he hasn't fared well against Flores' defenses. Yeah, it's one of the points about him, but stuff like that. Hey, you get on a trend, you get on a roll and a ride, but sometimes even the hottest people at the craps table crap out. So maybe, I guess where I'm going with that is maybe Goff is just due for some good success. Let's also say that he's got some pretty good weapons to work with too. And maybe Ben Johnson has got the right calls, especially early in the game, to help put us in more advantageous situations. Answer 14. What does our linebacker group need to do Sunday? How can they impact the Vikings offense? First is the responsibility in the run defense. If they can limit them, like what I was just saying a couple minutes ago, into being more and more one-dimensional, forcing, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 5 or whatever, just longer scenarios where the quarterback has to hold on to the ball just a half second longer, letting any blitzing or coverage or just pressures a little bit more time to get there. That will help out a ton. Now, when they get into coverage responsibilities, Jack Campbell came in with the notion that he was pretty decent in coverage. I think he's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. He's better, in my opinion, in zone coverage. But I've also seen him this year go out and man-to-man and guard running backs effectively, especially on the slip out routes to the sidelines. That's difficult because you're asking a Mike Backer to cover a lot of ground. I just don't think he's great in it. Anzalone, though, I've been impressed with him in coverage this year. He's done an effective job. So where's their impact? It's going to be stopping the run and then covering basically the flats for Hockenson if they happen to put him on him, or any running back coming out of the backfield. So pay attention to those. Matthew, what do you got? Who are our likely match as far as the playoffs? I think there's a high probability we'll get the Rams here, and that will not be an easy matchup. While their defense is playing well, although I do believe it can be had, you're going to have the sideshow of Goff versus Stafford. I do agree with what's his name, Andrew Wentworth or whatever it is. I think there's going to be more pressure on Goff than there is Stafford. I think Stafford can come in and just play relaxed football, as relaxed as anybody's going to be for a playoff game, and he can just fire it all over the field. They do have some weapons on offense too, so that will put some pressure on us. But we'll worry about the playoff matchups once we get there. Matthew, who are our likely matchups other than the Rams in the playoffs? The Vikings are still a possibility. Seahawks are still a possibility. I would say those are probably your top 3 at this point. All right, JK, what do you got? Will Gibbs have his best stats against the Vikings? He has had none on them yet. Well, yes, he will, because he has not faced them yet. So, yeah, whatever he does against them, those will be career highs against the Minnesota Vikings. So you are correct there, and I see what you did there. That was good, man. Triggerman, Vikings have to beat 49ers this year, but I still think Lions win tough place. We play and got robbed last year in Minnesota. We did, and hey, it happens, man. But hey, you got a great opportunity tomorrow to win the division and keep moving forward. Ed, I'm sorry, Duke Crew. This playoff pressure has me going crazy. Hey, it's part of the fun of it, though, man, isn't it, Ed? I mean, for years at this time, we'd be so deep into mock drafts, we had nothing else to talk about. But now you're talking about, well, Lions play at this time. We got to get the win here. But now let's look at these other games, rooting guide, or who do we need to root for? Who do we need to root against? It's kind of fun, man. So don't let the stress get to you. All right, Thomas, leading all running backs in yards per carry. Yeah, awesome rookie year. It is, man. And I give Brad Holmes and the scouting department tons of praise and kudos, because they saw this where most other people did not, it would appear. Big M, Dan, do you have a player or players of the game for the Lions? I'm going to go with the offensive line and defensive line, because I think this game they're big in every game. We all get that. But this game especially, if that offensive line holds up, That's going to be a huge thing for this offense and putting pressure on the Vikings defense to maintain integrity for longer than they want. They're going to come after Goff. They're going to come after the running backs. They're going to blitz exponentially to try to stuff lanes for the running backs as well as get to the quarterback. So if they're less effective with it, it will give the opportunity for the Lions to hit some big plays against them and plays that could go for some major yards, even scores. The other part of that is I say the defensive line, because if they can come out and have a better and better game, you control Minnesota's running attack, you make them more one-dimensional. You're just putting more and more on the plate of Mullins. And, maybe he has a great game, but I'm going to say this, with him being a younger, less experienced quarterback, at least me, I'm going to make them have to throw it under duress the entire game and be successful. They'll hit some shots against us, sure, but if he's a little off, especially in something like the NFL defense versus offensive game, you're even a half second off with a pass or a read. That can be a turnover, and turnovers impact the game so much. Even though we struggled with Green Bay the second time and the Bears both times, I really think it was turnovers that really changed those games. And again, half seconds of hesitation lead to turnovers and alter the course of a game. All right, answer 14. Long, run-heavy drives for us would be great. Eat the clock and keep their offense off the field. Run the ball. Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of that. JDC at Ed, LOL. All right. Big M at the Ed, I am with you as long as longtime Lions fan. This is uncharted waters for us as fans. I agreed. Yeah, you got to go back to the 90s, the last time you probably hit anything like this at this level. JDC, when it comes to all things Detroit Lions, who doesn't get fidgety? We've all been through it. Let's be honest. Tomorrow, if it's a late game pressure situation, it's just because we've seen so many failed attempts over the years. Most of us are probably innately going to go back to that in our mind. We're not going to say, hey, we got this. We're going to have some worry and some stress and anxiety. Boo, yeah, good morning, Duke Crew. Sorry, I'm late to the party today. History will be us Sunday. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas to you. And hey, hop in whenever you get in here, man. It's all right. Sometimes we're all late. Motown, what do you got? Skull affected. Haven't seen anyone here say Vikings, we're going to lay down. That is true. I have not seen that. It's a Lions channel, so confidence in the team, that's different. Yeah, and what do you expect, man? You expect fans of the team you're watching the channel on to go, we've got no chance. Fans don't do that, man. So you want neutral opinions, go to a neutral channel. I try to be as buoyant as I can be with just saying, hey, here's what I see. But I'm not going to lie. I'm a Lions content creator. I'm talking Lions. I'm hoping the Minnesota Vikings all get COVID and can't play tomorrow, man. And I hope they're fine the next day so they can go out and, play. I hope they all have to wear diapers or whatever you want to say. I hope they all drink, way too much Mountain Dew and got to sleep during the game. I don't know, man. I'm going to root for my team. How about that? Hey, what do you got? Due morning. All right. Due morning, you too. Lions should win since Nick Mullins is not a running quarterback. However, Justin Jefferson is elite, so that would be a huge problem for our cornerbacks. Lions 21-17. I'll take it because you know what? It's a win. All right, Jason, what are your thoughts on the next few years in terms of roster keeps, trades, cap space, contracts? I think the majority of the drafted players are going to be re-signed. It's just going to come down to, obviously, cap space and structures. I think this regime wants to be able to make a statement to not only the players that are currently here, but any future players or potential free agent signings. If we draft you, you fit our culture, you're not a problem, you work hard, you develop, yada, 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 we're going to take care of you. We're going to build up that loyalty brand. Because I think that resonates a ton with players. It doesn't happen, as you guys all know, in most sports. The shiny object over on Team B is sometimes more tantalizing. The grass is greener somewhere else. I think they're trying to avoid that. Why we haven't made some of the trades and trade deadlines the last few years is because we want to keep our own guys. We want to be able to keep the cap space. I'm around St. Brown this offseason. My guess is he's going to get paid. They're not going to wait another year to do it. They're going to do it now. Because of that, he's going to get 18, 20 million, something like that in that range. You're going to also see some guys get cut. Tracy Walker, I think he's on his final days with the Detroit Lions. Romeo Aquara, same scenario. Charles Harris won't be resigned. Those guys are going to be gone, and that cap money is going to be redistributed to either current players or potentially some free agent signings. I do suspect that Jonah Jackson's value to the team has gone up exponentially because you can see this year when he's out, Ragnow's out, this offense is completely different because the depth isn't there to replace them. Maybe they are. I am putting in my mock draft. I'm getting out to you guys later today. That, spoiler alert, I think the Lions are going to take a first round offensive lineman. Where will they go with that? Like moving him to guard or tackle? I guess you have to watch the video. I can't give you everything right now, but those are some of the things I do anticipate. Brad Holmes, I would say, is always considering the cap. I don't think he's got the reins or the approval to just go out and spend money left and right or whatever. I also don't think it's part of his personality. He's constantly, it appears to me, playing checkers. He's constantly trying to get other teams to reveal their desires and needs before he does a trade or whatever. So my anticipation for this offseason, you're probably going to see St. Brown re-signed. You're going to see some guys cut or not re-signed. Maybe that'd be a better way to put it. And then you're going to see selective free agent signings. I do think they'll make a push for Gardner Johnson to be returned. Emmanuel Mosley, he'd have to really get him at the right price because 2 straight years he's out with ACLs. There's a kid I'm coaching right now. Feel for them because they're trying to come back from 2 straight ACLs, and the year before that had a broken arm. So that's just, it's tough. And if you're talking the professional level, that's just asking a lot if you're going looking for too much of a big contract because of it. All right, moving on. All right, Big M. Jefferson has averaged 123 yards a game in the last 6 against the Lions. Hopefully we can keep him to under 100 tomorrow. All right, Phil Bugs pick 6. We'll take that. Hopefully he doesn't have to run too far with it, though, to get the score. Mile marker, what do you got? At Ed? I know, right? Pressure, tension, same reason I scream on roller coasters. Let it out, and then have fun. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, Thomas Campbell pick 6. I'll take that. All right. It'd be huge for his confidence, I'm sure. Phil, Jerry Jacobs has seen his last game with the Lions. Boy, I don't remember his contract offhand. I don't think he's terrible, guys. I just don't think he's a number 2. I think he's meant to be a number 3 or 4 corner who just, unfortunately, because of injuries, had to play the number 2 spot. And he just, he's not that guy. But who knows? We'll wait in the offseason and see what they do with him. But if you can get somebody more athletic, I wouldn't dissuade you from doing that. Matthew, what about this DT tackle released by Chargers? Is he any good, and should we look at him? At this point, I don't know if they're really going to add any more parts. Well, maybe if we had some more injuries or something, they might. But at this point, I think they're pretty set with where they're at now. But who knows? Eminem, I'm calling it now. J-Mo is going to have that Alabama touchdown, and Gibbs going to have the same. It's going to make me cry with happiness. Well, it'll be your birthday, man, so I hope they put nothing but a birthday smile on your face. All right, a couple more here, and then it's time for me to go hit the magical Circle K for the morning dew. Big M, always enjoy your morning talk, Dan. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Everyone hit the like button for Dan. Yeah, if you could, pretty please do that. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. Like I said, I think we're about 50 away from hitting 4,900. And the likes I can't see on this screen, so I have no clue what we're at. All right, Thomas, Lions have so many rookies on this team that can only get better. I would agree, and even more dominant. Go Lions next year, even better. It might be, man. It could be a real magical year. All right, answer 14. It's been so much fun this year. We have so much more access to the team on this day of social media. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Old times, we had to rely on newspapers and occasional radio interviews. Now we get to know them. Yeah, and having worked in the newspaper industry during the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, I guess I'm trying to remember what my final newspaper assignment was, and that might be like 2014 or something like that. But it was different because I'd write a story on a Sunday. Most people can't read it till Monday. We're here. That's no longer the case anymore. Really once you got to about, I'll say the late 90s, that's when it started going, just sped up so much faster the access to information just became so much quicker. Nowadays, I mean, just think about YouTube. If a story comes out on something, I mean, it's across the world on 50 billion different platforms, and within what 2-3 minutes, everybody's running with the same story. So you're right, answer 14. It's a good time to be alive and be a fan. Phil, this is Coach Dan's morning class. Teach Dan. All right, I'll do that. Whatever you need me to teach, I'll jump on it. Let me know. All right, JDC, answer 14, you nailed it. Yes, he did. He did a great job with that. Michael, we got Lions grit and win the division this Sunday, 31-23. I'll take it. Boo, like everyone, like button everyone. All right, I'll hit it once I'm off, although I guess I'd be hitting it for my own show. All right, I'll do it all the same, though. Phil, does Brad come back next year? I would think the Lions are not going to let him, well, I can't say let him go, but they're going to do everything they can to keep him. I don't think they may offer him a lifetime contract. Phil, 2 ACLs and broken arm, give it up. They don't do that. On some people, they just keep going through adversity, and kudos to them, man. I've worked with a lot of athletes at different levels over the years that have gone through similar situations. I remember one dude, he tore an ACL, and then they got cleared to come back, and like a month later, retore the same ACL. It turned out that the med team that worked on him for the team missed part of the meniscus tear, then didn't fully understand that the ACL tear was in 2 places and only one, so they repaired one of it. Yeah, that was not ideal, but it does happen. So I'm hoping they don't give up, and all the work they've been doing for months now, I don't think they're going to. All right, Matthew, what do you got? We need to draft one of the top 3 O tackles to replace Decker. His production has started to drop, and in 3 years, he'll be more of a backup. Yeah, I won't give away any more spoilers for today's mock draft, but you'll be able to see my thinking on that, and we'll go from there. JDC, happy trails, happy holidays, go Lions, victory. Hopefully you have a good morning, my friend. All right, last one here, or just shy of an hour. Big M, everyone have a glorious Christmas day. Go Lions. Yep, and hope everybody has a great holiday season. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's Lions Talk Live. I hope you all have a great one. If there should happen to be some breaking news today, I'll hop on because I don't really have anything going on the next couple days, so I'll try to help out. But hope you all have a great time with your family and friends. Whatever you celebrate, whatever you don't celebrate, whatever you do, just go out and have a great day. Be kind to others, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.